Hey, Arpit. Hi. So this is a show where we are actually helping others so that they could help understand how the interview process goes. And you have recently joined as an ML intern. So you would be in a better position to tell them how to prepare, what would be the strategy like, what was the interview rounds, and some of your suggestions that they could actually take in while their preparation is going on, or if they are currently interviewing, that would definitely help them. So yeah. So, Arpit, the first question everybody would be interested in, what is your background like? So, could you just brief up on that?
Yeah, so I'm currently a fourth year final year student from IIIT Allahabad. This is my last semester.
Okay.
So I am currently doing a 6 month internship in Couture.ai, which is a startup in Bangalore. So
Mhm.
this was an on campus placement offer. So basically, yeah, the IIIT Allahabad, we have like only 2 or 3 branches. So there are less number of students, and uh, even the EC students have the
Mhm.
opportunity to sit with the IT students in placement for
Got it.
most of the
Got it.
companies.
Mhm.
Now, if we talk about on-campus placements, like
Mhm.
when the BTech students do not have any work experience as such,
Mhm.
so most of the companies hire only for software developer,
Got it.
because
Got
in
it.
machine learning or data science, these fields require experience.
Yeah.
So there
Yeah.
are very
Yeah.
few companies or only the startups
Mhm.
that come to the colleges for these kinds of positions.
Got it.
Now I had an interest in ML and AI
Mhm.
from like first year only. So as everybody does, everybody starts. I also started with the Andrew NG machine learning course.
Okay. That is the go-to
Uh,
course for everybody who is
yeah,
starting.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is the first step.
Mhm.
uh, and I still would say that for anybody who wants to start machine learning,
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
should be the first thing. But along with that, they have to do other things also, like practical things.
Yeah. So, are you talking about the machine learning course or the deep learning specialization that is there?
No, the machine learning,
Got it. Got it.
because deep learning generally people don't do before machine learning.
Yeah.
Deep,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I know some people who have done deep learning first.
Mhm.
That is also a nice way, but
That is
I prefer
doable, but
doing much.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, there are some things that you probably might not able to understand.
True, true, true.
So yeah, as everybody started, I also started with the same course,
Mhm.
and like there are few open source initiatives in our college that used to happen,
Mhm.
and I started contributing a bit in this domain also.
Mhm.
So that way I got some experience, not experience, but how to start with this domain.
Okay, so this is a
And
very
then
interesting point which you mentioned. You started something on the open source side. So this is software development side, or are you talking about data science, open source development?
uh, no, so we have some open code, like which is a mini GSOP kind of a thing,
Yeah, yeah.
where we have to make open source contribution on GitHub,
Mhm.
which can range from anything from UI to front end, back end, data
Got it,
science, anything.
got
So
it.
there were few issues related to the practical aspect in data science, so which
Mhm.
had helped me because while doing the course, there was not much practical things in the
Yeah,
initial
yeah,
phase.
yeah. Mhm.
So that is why that was one thing. Another
And
thing
was
is
it
that
very relevant on your resume when you actually put that?
so this was the ending of the first year.
Mhm.
So at that time, we didn't really
Okay.
think
Mhm.
about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also, I had done one Google AI Explore
Mhm.
that sessions, and so those were also somewhat beneficial.
Mhm.
Uh, Now, I think that when a student is in first or second year,
Mhm.
they should explore all the things. Like if they are doing for placements,
Yeah, yeah.
then they need to do normal DSA and competitive coding as well.
True, true, true.
Or also like you at some stage you have to do web development also, together with everything.
Mhm.
So I had left machine learning in third year when I was
When you say you left machine learning, what do you mean by that?
I had paused it
Acha,
for
okay,
around 6 to 7 months
got it.
because I was preparing for internships and the
Mhm,
placement,
mhm.
so I had not done anything.
Oh,
So,
so you were
but
more focusing on DSA or maybe lead
yeah,
code and other thing? Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
got it. Mhm.
Yeah. So once the placement starts, it is basically DSA. But
True.
when some companies are there which unexpectedly come for another role, then you do not like you'll have to revise everything
Yeah, yeah,
from
yeah.
the ML
Mhm.
domain also.
Yes, yes.
So companies also, in a sense, know that the student does not know much about it.
Got it. Mhm.
They only ask the basic theoretical things.
Mhm.
Like they'll start with classification,
Mhm.
regression,
Mhm.
and they like go in CNN versus ANN, those things. They start with small things, and they'll go deep down only if you have projects that you have done in the
Got
domain.
it. Got it.
Yeah, there are some companies which like go deep down into
Mhm.
the domain,
Mhm.
but those are very specific ones.
Okay, okay, okay. So, how did you land up with this interview? So, was it you already knew what the role was, or based on your projects, or did you tell them specifically so they hired you for this role, or how was it?
So for the current internship
Yes,
or
yes, yes. The current
yeah,
internship.
so this company had come for multiple roles,
Mhm.
and I knew that I would have a shot if I would have a better shot if I choose the AI or the ML portion of it.
Got it. Got it. And why is it?
Yeah,
Because if so many
because
students are there and you were more inclined towards ML since the beginning, so you will
yeah.
have got it.
Also yeah, and also I was in my uh, AI technical club of the college,
Okay, okay.
so
So
I
you were
knew
in
that
touch of a lot of concepts.
yeah, yeah, I had taken a few classes for the juniors
Mhm.
also.
Okay, okay.
So I knew that the competition would be little less, and I knew that
Got it. Got it.
if I wanted to pursue this
Yeah.
because I want a career in data science and
Okay.
artificial
Okay.
intelligence. So I knew that if I get a internship in this only,
Mhm.
then it would be very beneficial
Yes. Yes. And as you were
because it
teaching
would
as
be
well, so you were aware of the concepts. You were not, you don't have to brush up from the scratch. You were already there at
yeah,
some person. Yeah. Got it.
yeah. So a basic revision was needed,
Yeah.
and also in the semesters I had been doing projects in that domain only.
Mhm.
So uh, another thing is that uh, like during the interview,
Mhm.
uh, they can skip from machine learning, deep learning, anything. So if you have
Mhm.
only done machine learning, then also it's incomplete. You will
Got it.
have to
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
the concepts of both of them.
Yes. Yes.
And another so like I was saying that I had teach or taught the some students.
Yeah.
So that kind of helped me in this.
Got it.
Uh,
Got it.
yeah.
And how many
So this
rounds
was
were there in total? Or yeah, if you could actually brief us regarding the rounds, number of rounds, and which was the starting round, which was the second round, and ML was there in all the rounds, or it was only in one specific round?
so if I talk about this particular company,
Mhm.
then both of my rounds were based on machine learning and the projects.
Okay,
There
so
were
there were two
some
rounds in total.
DSA. Yeah, for this particular, there were 2 rounds,
Got
and DSA is also involved. Like if I take out any of the companies
it.
that I have, like I had given the interview for around 5 companies which had
Mhm.
machine learning, AI, data science roles.
Mhm.
So in most in almost all the companies, the first round had a DSA question, and
Got
then
it.
they would go to the ML concepts, starting from the projects.
Okay, so one
So
quick
like
question everybody would be interested in when you say DSA concept, or maybe the first question is DSA. How so? You're talking about the lead code questions that we have. You are
yeah,
given
lead
a
code
problem
easy
statement and
to
you have to
medium.
go. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
that is more important. Easy to medium, not the hard levels.
yeah,
And medium
no,
also is it so? Medium also has some kind of difficulty level, right? Some mediums are very doable. Some mediums are more on the lines that it's slightly tricky. So how is that categorized as?
I would say lower side of the medium.
Okay,
Uh,
okay,
but sometimes it depends on recruiters or the interview also. They
got it.
sometimes want a person, if he or she is applying for data science, they want she or him to do the question in Python language.
Okay, okay, okay. So that is
That's
a very
like
important point because a lot of students
very
do take C++ or maybe code in C++
ha.
initially. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
also do competitive coding C++ only, but
Yes, yes, yes.
that's that's very minimal. Like I would say 5% chance that they'll ask you to do the question
Okay,
in Python specifically.
okay, okay. Just because I wish
So,
STL, everybody is very
huh,
keen on using C++ in the
yeah,
beginning. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
Okay.
that's one point.
Hmm.
Another, like during the interview, they asked, why is CNN better than AN?
Okay,
Like,
okay.
why do we use it?
Hmm.
So we need to know, like in CNN, when we do the convolution operation,
Hmm. Hmm.
then what is the input shape and how is the convolution being done? What
Got
is
it.
the strides and what are the filter sizes, channels
Got it.
that we are using, and
Hmm.
what with the number of parameters that
Got it.
are being used.
Hmm.
So all these things need to be like activation functions, these basic terminologies, and like that's why you need to do those kinds of courses to
Okay.
get the complete knowledge of this.
Yeah, in-depth knowledge. So if you're just
Yeah,
talking about a CNN layer, it's not just the layer. You need to know about the hidden units, how the calculation is being done. If the stride is something, how many? Got it, got it, got it. What would be the moving
yeah,
window size? Yeah,
it's not just you apply model.add and write the arguments and then do that.
got it.
Those that thing won't work because
Okay,
the interview is going to ask you the basics at
okay,
least,
okay. The fundamental knowledge should be
or
there.
the yeah, including the mathematics of it.
Yeah. And when you say the ML
So
round specifically, was it more on the lines that they were asking you questions, or they even asked you to code some bit of it?
the as far as I remember, there was no code involved as such.
Okay, okay.
It
So they were
was
more
just
inclined
like
towards thinking, checking how you think in terms
thinking
of thought
ability.
process.
Yeah,
Got it, got it.
yeah, yeah. And like if the candidate knows what
Hmm.
code was written and what it explains, like what
Okay,
code they
okay.
have used, or if we talk about projects, then
Hmm.
what exactly is the kind of problem that they solved using that project, and what were the challenges faced
Got
by
it.
the candidate. So
Hmm.
because in machine learning specifically, we can have multi like realistic type of projects
Yeah.
also, no?
Hmm.
So that is one thing that everybody needs to look into.
Okay, okay.
Uh, so some basic Python questions were also asked,
Hmm.
like dictionaries, uh, list, and Django Flask.
Got it.
So yeah, so these are common questions. They are like, but it's there was some kind of rapid fire round also
Okay,
where
okay.
they would give one difference between Django Flask and what is the file format extension of checkpoints in PyTorch and Keras,
Hmm.
these kinds of questions.
Okay.
Yeah, specific company if also like ask, they have a specific round called, I'm not sure what the round is called. I think it's a product round or like case study round where
Hmm.
they'll give you a product, and
Hmm.
then they'll tell you to do the case study,
Got
like
it.
recommendation system
Mhm, mhm,
or like something like that. So you have to think from scratch, taking all the like realistic cases, the business aspects of it,
mhm, mhm,
everything. So it's like a two-way conversation only,
mhm.
but that is a very important round.
Got it. Got it. So that was the second round, you mean to say? Or maybe in both the rounds, they clubbed it in a manner so they have included everything in these two rounds.
No, so this product of case study round, it was not involved in this particular company, but
Okay.
it was
Oh,
for the
usually in
other
other
companies.
company.
And
Okay, okay.
yeah,
And how
yeah.
big were these rounds? So were they 40 minutes, 45 minutes, or 1 hour rounds, or how's it?
Uh, uh, One round was I think 1 hour, other one
Mhm.
was half an hour, half
Okay,
an hour.
okay, okay.
But generally, if generally all rounds go till 1 hour,
Mhm, mhm.
like uh, ML based companies or DSL based
Got
software
it,
based,
got it. Mhm.
the rounds are it can go till 1 hour.
Okay, okay, okay. Good. Got it, got it. Okay. So this was mostly on the lines that how was the interview and what did they ask? So if suppose what would be your suggestions? Suggestion like how should one prepare for such kind of interviews? Or if somebody is just starting the preparation, how should they go about it? And somebody who's already there, maybe they know the basic fundamentals, how should they structure it in a way so that they go in the lines what the interviewer might be thinking of?
So, firstly, if I talk about someone who is
Mhm.
still in college life,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
for, for the people who only have certain amount of knowledge in this
Mhm,
domain,
mhm, mhm,
and but they do want to continue or have a job in this, and there is a company that arrives for the position. So
mhm,
first of all, they will need to brush up the basics of it,
mhm.
and
True.
that's one thing. Second
Mhm,
thing is whatever project they have in that particular domain, they
mhm.
need to have a complete understanding from the 0 to 100
Okay.
of
Okay.
every concept that is involved in
Mhm,
that
mhm.
particular project. The
Got it.
terminologies, why I have used that library
Mhm.
and why haven't used the
Something
other
else.
library.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
and like in colleges, we do not deploy most of our projects.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if we had to deploy, then what would be the tools that can be used? Or even if
Got it.
we have deployed it, then
Mhm.
how would it be? How will it? How can we scale it?
Got it.
Like
Got it.
there won't be much stress upon these questions, but
Mhm.
still these questions
It's
can
it's
be
a good
asked.
to know. Good to know. Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm. So this
because
is for
it
somebody who
can.
is just starting.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, as I am saying, like at in their last year only,
Mhm,
uh, when the placements are going on.
mhm,
So this is for them,
mhm,
and those students who apply for internships, like in the ending of the second year,
mhm, mhm.
I think. Yeah. So for them, this it's very basic things, because machine learning by that time, a candidate can only know the basics only.
Only the
They
fundamental
cannot.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and can interviews also, like I think they like the projects when a machine learning concept has been included in a project where there is front end back end both the things,
Got it. Got it.
like some hackathon projects. So like
Mhm.
I would encourage people to do hackathons,
Participate in hackathon. Okay.
where yeah, where at least one person has something uh, who can give machine learning based input.
Got it. Got it.
So that kinds of projects are very good in the resume.
Mhm.
And I think I'm still doing 6 month internship only, so I
Mhm.
cannot say what an experienced candidate
Yeah,
needs
yeah, so
to
it's
do.
mostly on the lines that somebody who's actually maybe have an interview, so they're starting from scratch, or have already prepared maybe some portion of it,
Yeah,
and then they are going for the interview. So the question was more on those lines.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Arpit, this comes to the point that this is the last question, and I usually ask this to everybody. So the last question is: if suppose somebody has an interview tomorrow, so considering it's the time right now, they will have only few hours that they could actually go over. So maybe 4 to 5 hours now before the interview. What would be the top 5 topics that you would tell them to study today that would be helpful for tomorrow's
Okay,
interview? Top five.
topics. So I would I would first say go through the previous interview questions if they are
Okay.
available,
That's very relevant,
or
relevant. Yeah. So previous
first
interview
like
question for the same company, if it's available, or any other companies in that domain, that could also work.
it also depends upon what the exact position of the company is,
True,
exact
true.
role that they have come for.
Hmm, hmm,
Because if we talk about data analyst,
hmm,
data engineering,
hmm.
data science,
Yeah,
so all three are different.
yeah, yeah.
If somebody is going for data engineering,
Hmm.
they need to brush up their SQL skills. That is
True,
very
true.
important.
Hmm.
For data analyst, they need to brush up the statistics and the mathematical portion
True,
involved.
true, true.
And for data science, they need to know the basics from classification regression.
Hmm,
First thing.
hmm,
Second thing is CNN, ANN.
hmm.
I would say the third thing is about regularization and overfitting, underfitting,
Okay,
all those
okay.
things.
Hmm,
Uh, Fourth, I would say projects,
hmm.
like everything included in the project.
Got it. So whatever you have done
And
in the project, just brush up once more so that you are
yeah,
aware of all the things, nitty-gritties in your project. Got it.
yeah, all the terminologies and the basic theory of those terminology.
Got it. Got it.
And one thing is the pros and cons of the machine learning algorithms.
Okay. Okay.
Why one algorithm is used and why cannot be used another one
Mhm.
if a completely different type of data set is given.
Got it. Got it. And this is very relevant. This is very relevant because given a problem statement, you
Yeah,
need to be aware of what kind of model that you could use and why some models might work and some models might not work.
yeah, yeah. And also a few things like if you know what the company is actually working on,
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
data science portion of it,
Mhm.
then
Mhm.
like if it's a recommendation system or if
Got it.
it's something
Mhm.
else, then
Mhm.
read about that.
Mhm. This makes it
What
very
are the
relevant.
techniques?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, because somewhere in the interview, in
Yes.
some second or third round, they
Mhm.
are going to ask about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if they are working on those lines, then
Yeah,
the questions might come from that domain. Yeah.
yeah,
That is true. That is true.
like what can you do to improve a system or
Mhm.
something
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm. And it also shows that you are interested in the work that they are doing.
Company,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So it's an inclination that the candidate is interested and would like to work with us.
yeah, yeah,
Got it. Got it. So yeah, Arpit, this covers the top five. It was actually more than top five, but yeah,
yeah,
this somebody who's actually having an interview tomorrow should actually go over
yeah,
these. Yeah, that would be really helpful.
yeah,
Okay, okay. So yeah, Arpit, so yeah, these were the questions that I wanted to ask you, and you actually gave an elaborate answer of how to prepare and what kind of interview rounds are and how should we go about it. So yeah, everybody who's actually watching this video would definitely get benefited from this, and they could also recommend their friends to watch it once, maybe a
sure,
night before the interview or maybe while they are preparing. So this would definitely help a lot of people. So yeah, definitely thanks to you for this. And I hope
yeah,
everybody
sure,
actually takes your guidance and recommendation. One more thing, Arpit. If you actually are fine with it, I would actually add your LinkedIn profile link below so that if they
sure,
have certain doubts in maybe some specific area, they could directly contact you regarding it. So you would be in a better position to explain those doubts.
yeah, okay, that would be all
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Okay. Then I will definitely add that as well. So thanks, Arpit, for
Thank you.
doing this.
Okay,
Yeah, it will be really helpful for
thank you.
everybody. Yeah,
Yeah, it was nice talking to you.
same here.
Thank you.